Welcome to Sonographers in the Cities, where we connect through sound with your hosts, Lynn and Geselle. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Sonographers in the Cities, or welcome back, as I would say. Welcome back, us, and welcome back to our listeners. I'm Lynn.
And I'm Geselle.
Thank you so much for tuning into this episode.
Yay! Welcome back, everyone.
Yay, we're back.
So, it's been a very long time coming. It was actually like 2 months since we last really truly recorded an episode. It's now July. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Yesterday was 4th of July for those who are listening the day this comes out. It is a whole halfway through the year.
I can't believe it. 2024.
It's almost gone.
Almost gone. Wait, no, almost halfway gone.
Halfway gone. Almost halfway there. It's kind of crazy because Lynn and I both had a lot of stuff going on at the end of the last time we spoke, which was back like April-ish. We also had our last episode that we recorded with Sam, so go check that out. We had a guest on the podcast talking about her book and all things sonography and working at a different field completely, even starting as a sonographer. So go check that out if you haven't listened to it yet. But we had stuff to do in May, some exciting things. So we kind of just put the podcast on the side and focused on our lives, our personal lives. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today. We're just going to do a little bit of catching up as well as talking a little bit about self-care because some of you guys have asked to talk upon that subject because it is important to have self-care when it comes to being a sonographer because as a sonographer, you are taking care of patients, but you also want to take care of yourself and you don't want to burn out. You don't want to have stress and things like that. And what more can help stress as a sonographer than traveling and enjoying time with your family? So in May, I'm going to start off with Lynn because there was a lot of stuff going on in May. Not only was it basically springtime, I think it was considered wedding season because there was a bunch of weddings that I was personally invited to in May, and one of them
Including mine.
was Lynn's. Yes. So we're going to talk about Lynn's wedding in May. So how was that? How was that? Congratulations. Oh my gosh.
It was just, it's just a party. It's not like because we did our ceremony last year, but it was just a party. It was in Vietnam. It was
a party in Vietnam. No big deal.
Yeah, it's just a party, with like hundreds of people. It was very good. It was very hot. We had friends from all over came to Vietnam to join us on, our day, and we had families. My side of the family, it was a big family reunions with like distant relatives, and I got to see nieces and nephews I've never met before, like the ones that are recently born. I had my cousin had twins who were 2.5 months. They were able to come to the wedding. And then I had a nephew that lives in Japan that I was able to meet. So overall, it was very, very good. It's everybody, mostly because like the wedding is mostly for my mom. Not really for me.
Family, as most weddings are, but
yeah.
So cool.
She was happy. My sister was happy. And my husband Sokai, first time to Vietnam, we made a trip out of it. We went to the resort after the wedding, so he gets to experience like how Vietnam is. He gets to experience, we traveled a little. It was our first international trip too. So it was like we were away from work. We didn't even think about work for one day, like when you're home, you have that routine, like oh, it's work, and then on the weekends you do chores or you try to rest. But when you're out in a different environment in another country, your mindset changes and you didn't think about work. And we actually came back. We went for 2 weeks. We came back when we felt really refreshed the first day back at work. So that's a very rare feeling if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome though. It looks beautiful, amazing. And you
Oh, and
all
the food. Oh my God. The food was so cheap. It was so good.
I know, I'm so jealous.
Yeah. Well, you could have gone too.
I know, which is crazy because I wanted to tell everybody that um Lynn invited me and I would have totally went, but it was already like so May was kind of crazy for me because I was invited to 3 weddings and I had my cousin's wedding that was the second week of May, same weekend as my birthday. So I had her wedding. I also had my friend's wedding in Hawaii the first week of May, and then Lynn's was like the last week of May. So I was really contemplating quitting my job just to go. And I'm like, when can a wedding is like a once should once in a lifetime thing,
Usually.
usually. And I was like, all of these people are obviously important to me. And so it's hard to choose, right? Hard to choose. And they were all destination weddings: Hawaii, Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, and Vietnam. And so what's hard for a sonographer that's full time is you have to have PTO, which is paid time off, to go on vacation. And a lot of times your jobs don't have enough PTO or people to cover you for every single weekend of a month in general. And I don't think anyone that has full time I've ever seen ever do that. So it was
Right.
really hard for me to choose, obviously, but I ended up going to Punta Cana with my cousins and my family. So, that was fun. But, at the end of the day, I really, what that would have been so cool to go to Vietnam and experience that. But one day, hopefully, we'll be able to make a trip out there because it looks beautiful. It looks so relaxing. And yeah, it looked like so much fun. So I'm glad that you got that opportunity to have that international trip and
Yeah,
enjoy with
I know it was very good, especially, after a full year of like working after finishing up the program, and all my vacation of the first year working was basically just, um because we got our house and all that stuff, so our PTO went into like visiting families for the holidays or doing things that has to be done, like the house and all that stuff. So we didn't have like a vacation that first year of work, and I was like slowly, I wasn't burnt out, but it was slowly tired of the same working 5 days a week, 40 hours, 40 hours a week. And that's how I slowly realized that full time wasn't for me.
Yeah. And that's the part of learning and experiencing. And I personally think if I was per diem, I would have been able to go to all of those weddings. If I was still a per diem sonographer and didn't go full time, I would have went to all three, to be honest with you. Like then I would have had no restrictions. I would have been able to go and just tell them, hey, I want all these weekends off because I'm busy.
Yeah.
And that's the best part about being per diem. So I'm glad that were able to do your trip and do all the things that you wanted to do. And then also in June, it's just kind of like we wanted to make sure that we were fully ready to jump back into recording for the podcast and continue with like just our lives and our well-beings before we were ready to record again. And I also was doing a lot of stuff in June. I went out to travel to California and I went on a road trip. So that was really good. But similarly with Lynn, feeling like when you come back from a trip or you come back from a vacation or just time off in general, it's really helpful for your brain and mind because work can be so draining and taxing and stressful that you need that time off. And it's important to get time off. So when people start to feel that burnout, like Lynn said, it's usually because you're just getting in this routine that you're stuck in and you just need something new or different to like
Right.
be excited about. So it was a nice 2 months off, I think, from recording and
I
not
think
having
so too.
you know, be part of the same routine. And it's good to have life experiences outside of work. So, and if you don't watch the YouTube videos and you're only listening to us, Lynn cut her hair and it looks
Oh,
so
I
good.
did. Yeah. My hair was like super long and I chopped it off because it's cheap there.
It looks so cute and fresh and clean and oh my gosh.
It's like I felt like a new person and I came to work and like the first before took in my first patient, I'm like a new sonographer. Oh, and I finished training with my job. I don't like if you watch episodes before or if you kind of checked in on my page, I was training at my per diem job, so I didn't have time to post or create any content. But I finished training now, so now I'm just picking up shifts where I can, and I'm flying solo,
Yay. Well, how does it feel?
creating my own schedule.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how does it feel with like coming back from vacation, having to hop back into work and training and all that stuff? Just update to those people who maybe this is their first time listening, like kind of what in your realm of your job and what you're doing right now. Because also, if you guys don't know, Lynn also teaches. And so, yeah, you have a lot on your plate already. So it was a good little break to have, and now you're back into it.
Mm, yes. I am like every day, I just am very grateful that these opportunities came to me at the time that it did. I do per diem at an outpatient clinic for a major health system in Connecticut, and I teach ultrasound sonography at a college in New York. So between Connecticut and New York, those are the fields of within these under the umbrella of sonography that I do. Like I get to see patients, but I also get to, you know, teach the future generations of ultrasounds,
That's
which
so
is which is very cool. A lot of them don't know I have an Instagram page or I have a podcast. So sometimes we're like, I didn't know you have this. I was like, well, I do. It's like, I didn't know you know Geselle. Like, I do. It's like, I love her. It's like, I'm
cool.
a big fan of her. I was like, okay, let me see what I can do.
Aw, that's so sweet. Oh my gosh. That is so cool though. Honestly, that is a dream of a lot of sonographers who've been doing it for a long time too. So look at you.
Yes, and there's one word that I can say to this is that it's very liberating because you create your own schedule. You work in an environment where you're valued and your manager or supervisor like asks for your inputs, and basically I they're just like, just let me know your schedule. I'm like, okay, cool.
They
But
want you, they need you.
yes, but also did I say it was liberating?
Yep.
It is liberating. But also, I wouldn't be able to do this without the support of, my husband, because he's the one that has a full-time job, which is also a big factor into me going, per diem and part-time, because um for us, one of us has to be flexible, and I had to be flexible.
There you go. And that's really how life is. You
Yeah,
whatever
you
you
know,
do works
yeah.
for your life.
Yeah, outside, of ultrasound, you gotta see if it like where you are in your life, right? And then and see how the work schedule fits for you. Full time is for not for everyone, or per diem is not for everyone.
Exactly. And that's a good point you make because everyone always asks, oh, is there work-life balance?
Yeah.
Oh, was there the ability to have time off? And it goes down to the choice at the end of the day of what you decide and what choices you have. Because you could be in a city where there are no per diem options and you have to do full time,
Right.
where you're not able to get a full-time position. Like for me, I was per diem for 4 years. I wanted to work at a one location place and I waited there for full time. But as soon as I got full time and I worked there for X amount of time, I started getting like bored and tired of that full-time position. So I ended up getting another per diem position. And that's kind of like for me, now I think and know I kind of like the flexibility a little bit better, but where we are in our lives, I have to get the full-time job for insurance. And
Mm-hmm.
because my husband doesn't have insurance on his job. So it kind of is one of those choices, right? So I would rather be per diem, but I take the full-time route because I need insurance. And that's kind of where we are as sonographers, and you guys can be having the decision of you can create the life that you want as long as you have the options, and just know that there are options, which is why I love ultrasound, because it's pretty good to know you can just create your own schedule, or you can just
Mm-hmm.
work this amount of days, or you could be full time, and it has a lot of options. And at the end of the day, you have to remember to take care of yourself, because to take care of others, you need to be able to get up and
Okay.
go every day.
Mm-hmm.
We hope you guys enjoyed this episode because it was a little bit of a catching up and our first episode back from our 2 month hiatus, basically. But we're so happy that you guys are still listening. We're still seeing that people are listening. We're getting all these downloads weekly, and we appreciate you guys who are new here or listen to us every single time we upload something. It's really cool to know that you guys are listening, and we see your comments and your emails, and we've been responding back to them. So hopefully we can get more topics for you guys and more people onto the podcast, because I know there's a couple people who want to get on here, and Lynn and I have just been so busy, so sorry everybody.
Yeah, honestly, it's just very hard for us to even find a time in a day to get together and do this without guests. Imagine how tough it is to, it has to be like months in advance, right? Like with our last guest, Sam, I
Yeah.
think our planning was like months.
I think we spoke about it even before 2024. I think it was
Yeah. No, it was 2023,
like last fall or something.
around this time.
Yeah.
And then silence, and then
Yeah.
we have back
It's
in.
yeah, and then we got back to it. So if you guys know someone or you want to be on here, really do just let us know. And I've had a few people reach out. It's just hard getting the days together. So, with a per diem sonographer and a full-time sonographer with another per diem job, you can imagine it's hard to find the right day, especially we're all on different time zones. But
And
that's
not to mention, like, we have our own personal lives, activities on top of that too.
yeah. So it's a lot of fun, but it's a lot of planning in general. And we hope you guys stick around and continue to listen. And we
Yes.
hope to keep motivating you guys. Don't forget to follow our pages, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
Yes, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. On Spotify, Apple, I think we're on, I don't know if Google still has, I think any other podcast platform that you're listening to.
And we'll be
Okay.
there.
Yes, we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for connecting through sounds with us. We appreciate you and can't wait to connect with you again next time.